Hi, everybody. This is Sarah Benoit. I'm the lead instructor of the JB Media Institute, and today I am starting my first video blog, so I'm really excited. Essentially, we're going to roll through this today and see how it goes. I don't spend a lot of time on camera, so I'm a little bit nervous, but hopefully you'll find the information really useful, and hopefully in the future I'll be able to do more of these quick, short videos that answer questions. So essentially today, the topic I want to talk about is how to organize your Pinterest boards. And I think this is a great question because Pinterest has a lot of opportunity for different businesses and organizations, but it's important to really understand what the Pinterest community is like, what they're into, the kind of behaviors those people have, and really come up with creative ways to make your boards incredibly relatable. So the more that people can relate to the boards that you create and find them useful, the more power your content will have on Pinterest. So I want to talk first about a few of the unique things around Pinterest that exist. So first, it's actually a pretty small network with only about 150 million pinners, which of course is still a lot of people, but in the social media world is a smaller number. But even though it has a smaller size compared to something like Facebook or Instagram, it is a network of people that are really engaged. So these are people that like to take action. They like to do things. And so that makes them kind of unique. The Pinterest membership is also a majority of women, and even though we know men are joining at a faster rate than they have in the past, it's still probably at around 80% women. So if women are a top market for you, then Pinterest is going to have some power potentially to get your content in front of women decision makers. Also, Pinterest is really well known for being a site that can drive a lot of click-throughs and website traffic. So out of all the social media that's out there, Pinterest is the number 2 driver of website traffic, second only to Facebook. So this kind of goes back to what I just said about Pinterest members basically being people that are really active. So they're on Pinterest looking for ideas, they're looking to do different things, to make different things, all of that stuff. And because they're so active and engaged, they're great at clicking on your pin and going over to your website. So that leads me to my last point, which is basically if I have a really great website, I know it's easy to use and it's something people really enjoy, and I've already put together a great content strategy, which means I'm actually producing content on my website. I'm blogging, I'm writing articles, I'm producing video content, and I really want to amplify that content and amplify my message, then Pinterest can be a great social media tool to use to potentially get people back to my website, really paying attention to the content I'm putting out every week. So we see across a lot of different industries that Pinterest can really help drive people to your website and drive people that are really active, motivated, excited, want to learn something new, or want to take action. So there's a really, like I said, some great opportunities, some really rich opportunities for small and medium-sized businesses and even nonprofit organizations to engage with people at a deeper level. So I think Pinterest is worth exploring. Now, one of the keys to success on Pinterest is organizing your boards in a way that really stands out. And so I'm going to show you some examples today of boards that I think are, being really creative and coming up with different ways to engage people. And I'd like to kind of run through those so that you can get kind of a visual on what these accounts and what these boards look like. But I think there's a few things you want to keep in mind as we lead into that. One is boards really need to do something besides just feature your products and services. So essentially, if I sell different types of clothing, I can make a board about sweatshirts, pants, t-shirts, shoes, all of that stuff. But if I really want to engage people and I really want to be memorable and shareable, I have to really get outside the box and stop thinking just about my products and services and really think about what do people do with my products and services? How do my products and services help them? What kind of problems do they solve? What kind of questions do they answer? How do they inspire people? How do they motivate people? If I can create boards that really show this to people, I'm going to really connect with them in a deeper way. I'm going to connect with them in a way that's more centered around what the customer potentially needs or what the client potentially needs or wants. instead of just saying like, here's what I have to offer you, it's more of here's what I have to offer you, and here is how what I'm offering is going to change your life. Here is how what I'm offering is going to make things easier. Here is how what I'm offering is going to, make you wake up tomorrow with a new fresh idea or a new perspective on something. So the more that we can tap into that with people, again, the more memorable we become, the more shareable we become. So that's where I want you to go with your boards. Is you might start out on Pinterest first by creating boards for each one of your products or each one of your services or even your product categories or service categories. But then we want to go into, so what do the products actually do for people? What's really the reason why people would choose your products or services over somebody else's, right? And so again, telling that story is incredibly important. So to start out, I want to show you, like I said, a few accounts that I think are going to help just exemplify this. So first is one of my favorites. It's the Sharpie Markers board, Sharpie Markers account on Pinterest. And they have a number of really great boards that I think are really unique. You can see, of course, as we scroll through, that they have come up with really unique ways of talking about this stuff. So they do have one products board that is just kind of great photos and information about their markers, but all these other boards are things like around the house, love is permanent, DIY to die for, star bright, say what with Sharpie, ink it in pink, all of these different things. So their boards basically center around different campaigns they're doing, different holidays that are happening, and different ways that people actually use Sharpie markers. So, if we look at the around the house, it's ways that people have done different crafts and things like that. If we look at love is permanent, we're going to see different love notes and romantic things like that. So again, I think what they're really trying to do is create these boards that show you how do people use Sharpies. What makes Sharpies unique is that they're permanent. So how are people taking a Sharpie marker and then implementing it from an artistic standpoint or a craft standpoint? You can see here we've got Stay Cool, and it's all sorts of beach gear that's been decorated with Sharpies. And so I think this is just a great example of an account that's really kind of getting out of the box and thinking differently. Because again, if we think about what Sharpie markers actually are, they're just permanent markers. There's only so far you can go if you just talk about the what. But a lot of these boards are talking about the why. Why are Sharpie markers cool? Why are they awesome? What makes them different from other types of markers? The next account that I want to take a look at is called the Container Store. And the Container Store basically is, a company that provides all these different things for organizing spaces. And again, they have some great boards around their particular products. So, especially some product brands and things like that. But then as you continue down through all of their boards, you start to see things like homemade gifts or the organized holiday or, gift wrap wonderland or travel organization, dorm organization, nursery organization, Mother's Day, Father's Day. So again, instead of just talking about exactly what their product is, they actually start talking about how their product is used, the difference that their product makes in people's worlds, how it makes your space, more awesome and more enjoyable, more comfortable, how it helps you stay more organized. So they cover everything from things to do with just cosmetics and jewelry all the way up to your whole office. And of course, like I said, as we scroll down, we start to see different rooms that they focus on. So if I'm really coming here to potentially get ideas for my bathroom, I can click right into this board about bathroom organization and see how people use the Container Store's products to better organize their actual bathroom space. So again, as you go through, you'll also notice they have some things around different promotions, different campaigns, different holidays like Valentine's Day or earth-friendly type stuff. So again, this is just a great kind of example of a company that is, genuinely trying to kind of make things more interesting, more engaging, and not just have a list of shelving that they offer. The next account that I think also kind of goes in a different vein, which is, not related to products, but related to services, is a Life Coach Hub. And Life Coach Hub is basically kind of a consortium or a group of coaches that are, all together. They have a great website, and they're essentially trying to really give you inspiration and, motivate you and inspire you and make you step forward into the world with a new perspective. And so again, a lot of their boards aren't titled things like life coaching, business coaching, career coaching, or any of those things. Their boards are really focused on things, like how to improve communication skills, how to improve self-esteem, how to avoid stress. Right? What is time management, career change ideas? What is healthy tips of the day? So again, they do have some things, in their account that are executive coaching, family coaching, but a lot of these things are really focused on what kinds of problems does coaching solve? What kind of issues does coaching address? What kind of answers can you find by, using the tools that a life coach would provide for you? So again, they're taking this really unique approach. And one of the other things I want to point out about Life Coach Hub and about Sharpie is that both of these accounts, they feature content that they themselves have created. So there are pins that link you right back to the Sharpie marker website or to the Life Coach Hub website. But there's also other things that they've curated from other people's Pinterest accounts that are also really great, really shareable and interesting, and they know their audience would like it. So some of their boards are actually a mixture of their own content and other people's content. And if you go through some of these examples, you'll see that's true on almost every account. The next one that I want to share is called Paleo Cupboard. And one of the most popular categories on Pinterest is food and drink. So again, you'll see a lot of this stuff throughout Pinterest. This particular Paleo Cupboard is actually a kind of mommy blogger site. And, this goes along with the blog. And essentially, this is somebody who really knows their audience well. They kind of know that their audience is interested in paleo recipes and paleo cooking and diet, but that they also have other interests. So as we scroll down, of course, there's a lot of boards that are well organized around just paleo food in general. So, recipes for everything from breakfast to desserts to side dishes and snacks, beef, poultry, pork, all this stuff's pretty logical. And then as you continue down, there's a lot of other boards that, again, sort of have to do with telling a story or solving a problem. So things like Paleo on a Budget or Paleo Kids. And then as we continue down the page, we see there's a bunch of other boards that are about completely different topics that just have to do with things that this audience might be interested in. So natural beauty. And as we continue down, things like little bits of happiness, funnies, fitness, all of this kind of stuff, natural home products, the art of entertainment. So if somebody is searching around for different recipes and they're into the paleo diet, it may be that they'd be really interested in a board that has to do with entertaining people at your house, throwing dinner parties and throwing different types of parties where you have to do, presentation with the food and things like that, or kitchen tips is another good example. So again, this blogger is really thinking about not just how to talk about their main topics, but how to make their Pinterest account really interesting and engaging and usable for the people that are going to potentially go here. And also, if they're trying to attract new people to their blog, which might be part of their goal as well, of course, anybody looking for things related to paleo eating and diet are potentially going to run across this particular Pinterest account. But other people might actually end up on something more related to garden tips and then discover this account. Or parenting and discover this account. So again, since she's a mommy blogger, it makes sense that if somebody's looking for stuff around parenting and they find a great board about parenting on the Paleo Cupboard account, that they might then dig in and get to know the blog a little bit better. So again, it kind of works both ways. It's a way to entertain the audiences that you already have and give them something they're going to connect to, and hopefully also attract really well-qualified people through Pinterest that are going to be interested in what your website or blog has to say. So again, you can dig through this to get kind of new ideas and just to see the different ways that she's approaching her audience and thinking about how to give them something of use. The next example is essentially something that I personally love about Pinterest, which is the travel aspect. So I'm a big traveler. I love to go different places. I often use Pinterest and organize boards about the different cities and locations that I'm going to so that I can put together kind of things that I haven't heard about before that I might want to go see. I like to kind of get insider tips from different people who live in that region. And so I'll organize it all into a board so that later I can go back and revisit it and kind of figure out, all right, what am I going to do when I'm in this particular city or town? And Visit Durango, which is basically the Pinterest account for Durango, Colorado, I think they did a really great creative kind of organization of their Pinterest boards to try to tap into all the different types of people that might be visiting Durango. So if I'm going to go, potentially visit Durango, Colorado, I could be any type of person. I could be old or young. I could be into the outdoors, or maybe I'm into food, or maybe I'm into art, all of that different stuff. I could maybe be traveling alone, or I could be traveling with a family. So they've really thought about all the different people that might come to their region and how could they create boards that speak to the different things that people want to actually do. So again, if we scroll down, you'll see there's outdoor boards, arts boards, lodging boards, national park stuff, historic downtown stuff, things about mountain biking, things about zip lining, Old West heritage. So all the different things that might bring people into Durango, wildflowers, waterfalls, mountain climbing, fishing, all of that sort of stuff, dining. So I really feel like it's easy to hit this page as a potential traveler and dig into the things that matter most to you, that you are going to relate to the most, right? So if I'm not really a mountain biker, I don't need a bunch of information about mountain biking in Durango. But if I really love shopping, I might click on the shopping board. If I'm planning my wedding in Durango, then I can hit their account and find this particular board around weddings. And maybe I don't need to know anything about the lakes right now, right? So they're really thinking about their target audiences. My favorite board that Visit Durango has put together is actually this one right here, and it's titled Places to See Before You Die. And so I really liked this board because it's basically amazing places from all around the world that you must see in your lifetime. And it's essentially, outlining different places that people might want to go that are really beautiful or, well known. And again, a lot of these have been saved right in here so that you can click on them and dig deeper. But for me as a traveler, I felt like they created this board because they know there's some people who love traveling. And when we do travel, a lot of it is because we've really wanted to explore the world and see certain things. It's, a bucket list that we have. It's a priority for us. And so I felt like, this is great. They're thinking about people who travel regularly, who want to see different places. Let's give them a reason to choose Durango over another location that they might be considering. So again, I thought this was really creative. Places to see before you die. That speaks to a certain amount of people. The more that they build this out, I think the more that they're really kind of, speaking into the different types of travelers. So, travel and eat, outdoor adventures, all of that is to target people who are traveling and, have different preferences and different priorities and things like that. And to let them know, if you're coming to Durango, we have the things that you want. We have the things that you're hoping to see. You're going to feel like you had a real experience that you'll never forget if you come here. So again, I thought that was that board in particular is something that really stood out to me. Next, we have Jennifer Chong, and she writes a blog called See and Savor. And Jennifer is kind of a blogger, a photographer. She is pretty well known. You can see here she's got over 2 million followers on Pinterest. And she's a really interesting person to look at because, again, she covers quite a bit of different topics in her blog. And so her Pinterest, covers many, many different topics. She has done her own kind of really creative organization of her boards. So here you can see some things say food dot. Some things will say wanderlust dot. Some things will say home dot, sometimes will say style dot. So she's created kind of these categories on her Pinterest boards so that people can immediately see, oh, this board is going to be about style. This one's about clothes and about bags. You know, these boards are about home. This one's about kitchen. This one's about bathrooms. This one's about bedrooms. You know, she's got seasons even. I love the Wanderlust boards, again, because I'm a big traveler. So I love Wanderlust Europe, Wanderlust Asia, Wanderlust guides. So again, she's thinking about the people that are really interested in the travel piece, people who are interested in fashion, people who are interested in food, people who are interested just in design. Right? So again, I feel like she's come up with this very creative, unique way that's very different from other people to organize her boards and let people easily scan through them and find something really interesting. And of course, you know, as we scroll down, we see other things that are just more general. So celebrate, illustration, pattern and color, paper goods, right? Desktop, office space. So again, she's just created some unique things. And the reason that you want to organize your boards like this in a really creative way is because you're going to give your boards the opportunity to be found by more people. So again, a lot of people won't find Jennifer Chong's whole account in a search. What they'll find is a board related to the topic they're looking for. So a lot of times boards are people's first entry into your Pinterest account. And so if they really like the board and they follow the board, they're more likely in the long run to engage with your whole account and dig in a little bit deeper to what you're offering. I also think it's exciting that Jennifer Chong, because of her numbers, she's actually a real influencer on Pinterest. And so if you're interested in kind of understanding what it means to be an influencer on Pinterest, she's got a couple really good examples. One is a board called Pintermission. And this is where she had a collaboration with Honda. And the idea was for her to be taking 24-hour break from Pinterest to go out and do some of the stuff that she's been pinning about. And then she's sharing some of that information on the Pintermission board. So this is kind of an influencer strategy. And again, she's basically being brought on as an influencer by Honda, which is kind of interesting. Another great example of kind of an influencer connection is her board Love is Romantic, which is actually a collaboration between her, a company called Poppy Talk, and Tiffany and Company. And so the idea is really to celebrate love and to go over the perfect gifts for Valentine's Day. And you can see here's all the information about Poppy Talk and Tiffany and Company and Jennifer Chong. And if you scroll through, it's lots of different things that she's basically saying she loves from these two companies. Lots of different images and things like that. And it's all based around romance and Valentine's Day. And some of it's just photographs, you know, some of it is stuff that's a little bit more just kind of romantic in general. So quotes and pictures of places you want to go, things like that. So again, these are just kind of great ways to sort of see a Pinterest influencer in action. But I think the real goal, if you are creating a new Pinterest account or if you've had a Pinterest account, but it hasn't really quite produced the results that you're expecting, is to really take a look at your boards. And like I said, ask yourself a few questions. You know, what stories are these boards telling? What problems are they solving? What questions are they answering? And how can I make sure that when people are surfing around Pinterest looking for different things, that, you know, they'll come across a board that is not just going to show them a product or service that I offer, but they're going to come across a board that really makes them feel like they relate to my business, to my organization, that what I'm saying or showing them resonates with them. And at the end of the game, if we kind of generate that feeling, that connection, they're more likely to click through, they're more likely to visit our website, they're more likely to hire us or to even purchase a product. So boards, I think, can be sort of one of the make or break pieces of your Pinterest account. And if you feel like things are falling flat, even doing something as simple as reorganizing them can make a really big difference. So I hope this video was helpful. Thanks so much for joining me. And in the future, I hope to share a lot of other social media tips with you. Have a great day.